Welcome back, Rebels. You are tuned in to Financial Rebellion, the podcast to help ignite the fire of innovation and entrepreneurship in each of you. I'm your host, Todd Romer, here to help you turn your passion into profit or transform a brilliant idea into a booming business. Each week, we explore actionable strategies, insightful tips, and inspiring stories of those who are actually doing it. We're all about helping you create and elevate your own new revenue streams. So let's get rebellious and make those dreams a lucrative reality for you. Now let's jump in to this week's episode. Welcome to Financial Rebellion, this week's episode of how to help young people think about earning additional money, side hustles, entrepreneurship. We don't just talk here at Financial Rebellion about, how to change money behavior, but sometimes you need some extra income to start doing money differently, right? And become financially rebellious. So we're thrilled to have not just one guest on today, but two. So we've got a double dip coming from Greater Salt Lake City, Utah. Welcome to this week's episode of Financial Rebellion, Cameron Olds and Dallin Merrill.
Thank you, Todd. We're excited to be on.
Yeah, this is great.
Awesome. Great, good to see you guys. Of course, we know each other, and I'm going to share some of that story in a moment. And again, we're just so honored to have some great sponsors. Before I get into some questions with you, sponsored by Acorns, sponsored by Kemba Credit Union. We're big fans of credit unions. Kemba Credit Union based in Cincinnati, and also Alabama Credit Union in a number of cities in Alabama. So let's go back to, I think it's several years. I don't know, 7, 8 years. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you both went to Utah State, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And I needed a videographer. I'll say that 10 times, videographer. When I was speaking to a large group of 200 plus students in an auditorium style classroom, and someone said, yeah, here, call this guy. And it was, all right, Cameron Olds, all right, whatever. I basically hired you, Cam, to just take video of me speaking for some marketing material. And before I share with the audience and listeners what you do, tell me kind of what struck you as you were taking video of me just for my own business. You had no real idea, I think, of what I did. I kind of told you a little bit, but then go back to that and how did you kind of react to some of the things I was sharing while you were just getting paid to take video?
Yeah, no, so I met you sight unseen, really. I think that day, the day you recorded the day we recorded that class, your lecture to that class was like the first time I think you and I met outside the building. We shook hands, we said hi, and then class started. And so we immediately went in and started filming. So that was about as virgin a meetup as like, anyone could ever have had. And so I remember filming and the whole lecture. And as I was filming and trying to get the shots, I was like, oh, wow, that's interesting. And oh yeah, I could do that. And oh, that's what that means. And that's how you do it. And so, yeah, I you paid me twice. You paid me to film, and then you also paid me just to listen. and I've been taking your advice, and my wife and I, now that I'm married, we still follow it to this day. And it's been such a huge game changer.
Fun. And then Dallin, I met you maybe a couple years later, but let's now get into your business. It's called Protagonist. And I love the name, right? It's like classic movies, right? Who's the protagonist in the movie? Who's the protagonist in the book? Who's the protagonist in any story, right? And so wonderful brand name. And you're basically in the product helping companies differentiate their product or service through better messaging and clarification and staying consistent in that messaging. Did I describe your business well, or am I off a little bit?
Wow, you nailed it, Todd. It's like we've been working for a while together. No, that's exactly what we do. Yeah, the consistency and the clarification are two big parts of what we do. The third part is differentiate people's brands. So those three key things are something that a lot of companies struggle with. You can literally throw a stone and you'll probably hit a company that struggles with it. So those are the
Yeah.
things that we expertise in.
Yeah. And yes, complete full disclosure, you guys have been helping me for the last couple years take Young Money University, now rebranding to Financial Rebellion, as we
Mm-hmm.
help 18 to 34-year-olds with our message, right, and differentiate and bring them to a place of, yeah, this is just different. That's what we want to be and have been, but we're wanting to take it to even higher, newer levels of differentiation with messaging with Financial Rebellion. So um, it's just kind of fun as I work with, you're in the age group, you're in like right dab in the middle of the age group of Financial Rebellion. And so you guys get it. And if you don't have the answer, you've been also been able to go, all right, let's think on some things. But let's go back to kind of how you started this business with, share more about the story with Don Miller. I think he's based in Nashville or Tennessee
Mm-hmm.
somewhere. He
Mm-hmm.
helps companies, marketers go through his program called Story Brand. And so tell me more about that so that you kind of like you went through a little mini PhD in marketing and messaging. So share more about you going through his program called Story Brand that allowed you to go, I can do this.
Yeah. Daryl and I, we met in college. We were in the same apartment complex. And at first, we were doing video together, obviously, because that's how you and I met. So I brought Dallin, Daryl on to help me on some of the more like logistical business side of things. Because so he's an accountant by trade. He's also like, he was more of an entrepreneur before I was an entrepreneur. So he had set up businesses before. And so I was like, I need that kind of help. So he came on as a partner. And then I think as I was discovering Story Brand and dipping my toe into helping people clarify their message, make sure that what they're saying is clear, and not only clear, but differentiated. What makes you different? Are you saying that clearly? As I was learning and educating myself on that, I think we both had this realization that there was a bigger ocean than just video that we wanted to explore. I don't know. That's what it was like for me. I don't know about you, Daryl. It'd be interesting to hear your side of the story. I
Yeah,
haven't heard it in so
I
long.
think I think it was pretty obvious from the beginning that you wanted to be more than just a video guy, like,
Mm,
and that was pretty clear. Um, and I remember at the beginning we would have conversations about like where are we going, like what are we going to do with this, um, and I was like, well, video is where we're getting our money right now, like this, we got to just continue to go with this video stuff. Like this is where our side hustle money's coming in. But you always had the bigger picture in mind. You were always like, yeah, I know, like, but I don't want to do video my whole life. Like that's not who I am. Like, and so you were the one that really guided us to this place of, hey, we're more than just content creation, because we did more than just video in content creation world too. And so that's kind of where we got into the big meat of differentiating brands, clarifying them, and then making them consistent.
took a long time. I always tell people we wandered in the wilderness for 5 years, trying to figure out what we were. Because protagonist as it exists today is not the same protagonist that existed 3 years ago, or even 2 years ago,
Yeah,
honestly. So I wonder, that might be something that's just, good to know. And it's not always the case. Sometimes you strike gold and you nail your first product out of the park and you're an overnight success. Usually, in my experience, it's like it takes iteration. When you're doing a side hustle, you don't have a whole lot of time. You don't have a whole lot of resources you can dedicate to it because you probably have a full-time job. You had a family. So it's just a matter of iteration, testing, trying new things, and then doubling down on what works.
Yeah. That's great because there's a lot of people I run into that are your age. They do video, they do photography, they're doing some, excuse me, some niche areas. And this is, I think, going to be very inspiring for them as they kind of go, wait, I can take this maybe to a newer level with turning this into maybe, I know I don't want to use the word copy, but it's a great place to go, wait, I can turn this into a messaging outfit to help companies, small businesses communicate better. I mean, that's never going out of style, right?
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely.
And then now, so as you are both entrepreneurs, I met you when you both were single. Now you're married. And now you also have, Cam, you have a daughter, young daughter, and Daryl, you've got a young son. So that adds to the, I don't know, what do you call it? The busyness of life
The
as a young
overhead.
business owner. So over overhead and getting more clients. How are you balancing that act of being, you got a family, legit family going on that others can kind of learn from. No one does it perfect, of course, but just what are you doing to kind of keep the groove going, but also recognizing you've got a wife and a child now?
Yeah, well, I was the father first, so
It's
I
true.
guess I'll start on this.
He has
uh,
seniority.
yeah, I mean, it's difficult. There's a lot of hard days, but then there's a lot of really good days. Um, and just uh, Protagonist has made it possible. I mean, I've been doing both since up until January. I was doing both a job and this job, and then went full time in Protagonist.
And you've been
But
doing that for 2-3 years, right?
years,
You
yeah,
yeah, I mean, like
yeah.
we had both been.
I'm yeah. We built really slow. Like we knew that from the beginning that we wanted this was something important to us. Was like business, like family before business was like the whole thing. And education, like so, all of those things were really important to us. But now, like we're super happy to both be full time doing what we love.
Yeah. And for me, and I also know Daryl's wife Brenna, and he knows my wife Becca. But 100% what makes it doable is having that support system at home, because both of our wives actually work as well, so they have their own careers that they're doing. And so when you have, someone, two crazy people trying to build a company, which is so difficult, taking, like, lifting something out of the earth from scratch, it's so hard. And so having that plus kids, newborn kids, really really young kids, and then having your wives have a career, that's tough. That's logistics to dribble and juggle and all that stuff. But honestly, like, having conversations with Becca about, like, hey, are you doing good? Like, do you still feel like we're on the right track? You're happy at work? We're here. And then trading off, like, hey, I can see that you're really in the zone or really stressed. Can I take Penny? And then vice versa. That's been such a huge help as well. So an unwarranted PSA to
Penny, your
find a
daughter,
good
right? Penny's
partner.
your daughter's
Yeah,
name.
yeah, Penny, my daughter. Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, PSA for, hey, find a good partner and get married, because that just it's so nice to have, because being a founder is a lonely thing. I don't know if Daryl, you've ever felt that, but there's a saying that I have it printed out in my office. It's birds of a feather flock together, but eagles fly alone. And entrepreneurs, founders are generally eagles. They're out flying above everyone, trying to figure out where they can build a company where an opportunity is. But that's a lonely place to be, because you're hustling, it's isolated, you're grinding, it's a lot of work in your head. So having someone that you could share that load with, that's your intimate partner, is such a huge help.
Understand all that, and having four adult kids and having a wife that was super supportive as well of my dreams, it is a very very big deal. with the hills and the valleys that entrepreneurs go through, even if it's starting a side hustle. Well, what I heard too, for those who are listening, that Financial Rebellion podcast sponsored by Acorns, and we're fans of the credit union industry, Kemba and Alabama credit unions. I also heard that, yeah, you are flying as an eagle sometimes, and when you do fly like an eagle, um, it brings in some times of doubt and good old fashioned, we say it all the time, false evidence appearing real, fear. So tell me about any of those times in the last 3.5 years where you kind of were doubting, like, is this going to work? And what did you do to get out of that fear slash doubt? Because that can take hold of an eagle who's by himself on an island, if you will. What did you do to kind of counter that doubt and fear?
Yeah.
I'll start with you, Daryl.
Yeah, that's a loaded question for sure. Um, Definitely, both Cameron and I feel like one of the things that helps us is deep work, like just getting things done. So we try to put aside time to really grind, and I felt like that really helps me kind of forget about everything, about like when I'm working really really hard, I forget about the fear as much. And so putting aside time, um, like big blocks of time to just work and grind, makes me feel a lot more confident about where the company's headed, about me as a owner, as a founder. And so that never will hurt anybody. Is just getting dirty and grinding. Um, but then there's sometimes that it feels like it's not enough. It's like, oh, but did I actually do anything there? Like, what? How effective was that? And part of it to me is reminding myself that I've gotten this far with it, so why not a little further?
Love that.
You
How
always,
about you, Cam?
yeah. I mean, there's always. I mean, even this week, we're doing something crazy, some crazy campaign. And yesterday we launched it, and I was like, frick, like, who's gonna, like, no one's gonna want this. Who's engaging with this? No one's engaging with this. Crap. Like, you always have that mind chatter of, oh, like, is this valuable? Do people actually need this? Am I talking to the right people? Why don't they like it? You have, I mean, like, we just this past week, like, had a client that wasn't happy with something we were doing, and so we were like, ah, crap, like, okay, like, let's refund them and all that stuff. So there's always valleys
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But what helps me is you find the little success leaves clues, and so you have to find those clues, and you have to hold on to them when you find them. So one of the things that I'm always doing for protagonists is I'm looking at other people who are successful in our general CAD product category, and I see the crazy success that they have. And so I'm like, okay, there is a market for this. Like, there is a market. People are willing to pay. People have this problem. I just need to figure out how to take my slice. I just need to figure out how how Daryl and I can differentiate ourselves so that it's easier for us to take the slice that we feel like we can take, right? And
Mhm.
so I would say to anyone that's like wants to start a side hustle because you need a little extra cash, I would say just attack it, like Daryl said. Like, fear paralyzes you, but my antidote, my dad always told me, is just like run at it. Like, run at the thing that scares you. Run at it, and then it becomes less scary because you can tackle it. And just getting in there, getting your hands dirty, actually start before you're ready. Such true advice. It's been so good for me. I think so good for Daryl too.
It's great. Action is the doing something. Just to actually do something. Pick up a phone call, pick up the phone, send an email. Yeah, grind. I love it. So, yeah, that's a natural for anybody listening. You're going to have the valleys. That's not it's a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And so what you have to do to get out of those. I hope you're hearing from Cameron and Daryl on what to do. Just simply take action. And So let's get back to the protagonist business that you have created and some clients that you have worked with. Just any kind of campaigns you want to share that have been kind of fun, and kind of share what the breadth of services that you provide to business owners as well. So, I mean, I can vouch for what you all do for Financial Rebellion, which is, pretty extensive, especially on the tech side. And you guys always tell me, Todd, chill on the tech. Don't worry, you'll learn it. And I'm like, well, I don't want to learn it. And so, but anyway, you guys have been great encouragement to me to kind of, nope, bust through the tech stuff. So give some more breadth of what services that you provide for businesses and variety of industries.
Yeah, we'll do any type of content creation, obviously, but I think recently has been like this year has been my like all of the clients we've had this year have been really really fun to work with. Uh, like recently we've done several message playbooks for companies that have walked away and been like, oh wow, like that was really really cool. One specifically that we did was with a company called City Journals, and they just did we went in and they were already really differentiated, so really was easy on that part because they are very localized. Like they're a super localized newspaper that like there's nothing like it in the state, in our state, and honestly the states surrounding, like there's really nothing like it. So so it was really easy to differentiate them, but then we needed to help them clarify their brand a bit, clarify how they were saying it, and really the lights came on at the very end for them. Like they were like, oh wow, like this is like message os is going to really help. And sorry, I just kind of threw that word out there. A lot of we haven't really described what that is. We have three products. One is message audit, which helps show where you're deficient, and then next is message playbook, where we do the clarification, the differentiation, and the third one is message os, and that's our consistency. And it's basically takes message playbook and puts it into message os, and then it's a AI system that helps everything you create content wise be on message. um, and if they want us to do the content for them, then we will, and we just use message os for ourselves. But if they want to do it for themselves, then we do it, then they can just use it. So it's it's also a differentiator for us, that tool, because there's nothing like it out there. So really cool area that we found here. But it was really cool to see when we put the full picture together after the final day of uh, of this message workshop, where we showed them how it was supposed to work, that they were like, wow, this is going to add a lot of value to our company. And we've done that to several other companies this year as well. And it's really been a cool
That feels
experience.
good,
So
right? Doesn't that feel
yeah,
great?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, just,
yeah.
yeah,
The days it works,
it's
you feel
all,
like you can fly.
yeah.
the, yeah, it's so true, right? You're like back in flying mode. Love that. No, I love how you describe that. And again, AI is helping companies the tool that you use, helping companies stay consistent with their message, right? So anything else you wanted to
Yeah.
add to that, Cameron?
No, it's a problem that most people have without even realizing it. In fact, I see it all the time. People that are in direct competition with each other, like they sound exactly the same. Like there's no reason to choose one over the other. Um, and like almost down to the words they use, it can be the same. Like they all claim to be number one, or they all claim to be the industry leader, or whatever, and they'll all say it. Like all these companies that are in competition in a particular category in a particular industry, they all claim to be number one. And
Yeah.
if I'm a customer that's like in the market trying to evaluate who I'm going to go with, and you all say you're also your number one. It's like, well, clearly that's not true, and you've given me nothing to to like evaluate so that I can make an actual decision. So I just can, I'll flip a coin, and whichever one, heads or tails, I'll just go with that one, right? And so that's a horrible position for a founder to be in, because you're leaving the selection of your product over the competition to chance. And that sucks, because that's not competitive. That's not sustainable. You have to have some control over that. So all of what Daryl said is to that end, is, hey, how can we differentiate you? How can we uncover what it is that makes you unique? And then once we have that information, how can we help you say that clearly, so that everyone that's reading your website understands the differentiated value? And then how can we help you keep that consistent? That's the name of the game. Brilliant.
It's great. For those listening, again, we have a Financial Rebellion newsletter at financial-rebellion.com, where you can subscribe to our free weekly newsletter. It takes you 10 seconds to subscribe and join thousands of subscribers to literally learn and get smarter about money, business, and investing in less than 10 minutes a week. So what came to mind when you guys were talking about differentiation, messaging, and I know I've shared this with you the last few years, like, man, could we, speaking of your video background, Cameron, and you guys have kind of, I can probably almost hear you in Utah going, oh, there's Todd again, trying to see if we can emulate the Dollar Shave Club video that really goes down as a, well, I don't know. I like to rank. Maybe it's a top 10 marketing video made from scratch. I'm going to guess 15 years ago. I think the total cost of that video, the founder said, was maybe $2,500. And they were basically going after differentiating for against Gillette, shave blades, and how, well, if you're a man or a woman, we all go, God, buying blades are so expensive. It's like you're whatever you got. I'm going to use it 20 times, right? Even though it might hurt because they're so expensive.
I know, yeah.
But here's this entrepreneur that created this amazing video in a warehouse that was absolutely hilarious. And then it did go viral, and they sold their product was become a member of Dollar Shave Club for whatever per month, dollars per month. And we'll send you pretty good razor and blades at about half off that you would get from Gillette and what's the other brand? Schick. So anyway, maybe someday we'll do that for Financial Rebellion, but you guys you always were laughing like, oh, I don't know if we can get that going. So,
let's try it.
All right. As we come to a close here, we always like to do this with, listeners and those watching. Yes, you've been moved, if you will, both of you, in terms of what Financial Rebellion teaches, and it's not about me anymore. This is a team that is helping 18 to 34-year-olds truly become financially rebellious, not only in how they dream differently, save, spend, begin investing differently, because traditional financial norms are not cutting it. Some of the same things that we were taught for 40 years with how to do money is not working, and it's got to change. And that's why we're out doing what we do. But this podcast, mostly is about overcoming fear, starting that side hustle, starting that, people take showers all the time and they think about, man, maybe I could turn my passion into something. So tell listeners, I'll start with you, Darryl, what would you say to listeners who are just kind of still hesitating about, hey, man, should I start this side hustle? Or what would you tell that listener who's just on the fence that can learn from you as to what they can do next to move forward?
I love that question. Start simple and just start it. It's really easy. If you have something you love to do, honestly, don't start with literally just go start selling it to people. You don't until you have your first $100-$200 of profit, just start seeing if there's a market for it. Say, hey, am I able to sell this to these people? Once you get there, it's still not that much harder to actually get incorporated, and stuff like Utah especially has made it really, really easy. So just start. If there's something you like, go see if other people like it too. And if they do, then it's really easy to create a sole proprietorship and just start it up. So start quickly.
And on top, the founder of LinkedIn has a great quote that Daryl and I say all the time, and it's if your MVP doesn't embarrass you, you launched too late. So if your first attempt of having a product is doesn't embarrass you and it doesn't make you cringe, then you launched too late. So I love that's just kind of been our mantra, because Daryl, you and I have worked with companies. We've positioned and differentiated startups that just cooked things too long. They overbaked it, and then they lost their market advantage because they didn't launch. So just launch. Just start before you're ready. Just ship. Ship.
Yep.
Got to go. Just start.
Yeah.
Just go knock doors. Bake that bread. Go to that farmer's market.
Too many people do it. Yeah. Exactly. Too many people try to have a perfect product, a perfect whatever. It's not worth it. Just go. Just you'll improve your product the further you get.
Yeah.
So
perfection is the result of
that.
Iteration on market feedback. You got to have people tell you what they want, because you don't know. You don't freaking know. Maybe you do. You have that tiny little bit of what you think they know or what you think they want, and then that's what you test on, and then they'll tell you yes or no, and then that yes or no is just what actually gets you the product that gets you to $1 million or whatever. And bank with credit unions. Market. Protagonist has been banking with credit unions for a while, haven't we?
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. Love it. Okay, you just said, I'm going to end this with this. You just said farmers market. Who doesn't like a great farmers market? I don't care what. I mean, they're popping up all over the country, right? Every Saturday morning. And now they're not only Saturday mornings, they're Wednesday nights, the Thursday mornings. I mean, it's all over. And so there's a ton of people who make some really good things to eat who are listening. And you just said something pretty cool. Yeah, go try it out. Go get a table. Go spend and see what happens. And maybe that salsa that my brother Greg made in Tampa, Florida, we just call the special Uncle Greg salsa, that it's the best. So he didn't take it to a business, but anyway, it could be as easy as your salsa that you make. So love having you guys on, Cameron, Daryl. Again, this episode of Financial Rebellion brought to you by Acorns and our credit union partners of Alabama Credit Union, Kemba Credit Union, and more that we're bringing on to help them drive younger members, because the credit union industry is a great place for young business owners to actually have a business banking relationship too. So we are, again, thrilled to have you on. Thanks for being on, Cameron and Daryl. Any final words?
Thanks for having us on.
Differentiate or die.
Sounds good. That's right. All right. We will see you all soon. Thank you for joining this episode of Financial Rebellion. Rebels out.